So good morning, everyone. Professor Kev here. So last week in class, I asked my students, should everyone be an entrepreneur? This one was probably about 60-40 now. It was close. A lot of students like, no, Kev, I just don't want the pressure. I don't want the risk. I don't want the responsibility. I just want to go do my job, go home and do what I want to do without having to worry about my business. Other students, yes, Kev, everyone should try it to see what it's like to have that experience. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. One of the things I see is social media makes being an entrepreneur really cool because everyone can say, I'm CEO, I'm founder of the company. Everyone can do it. However, I always ask students, think about your opportunity cost. What else could you be doing instead? I had a conversation with a high school student who started a marketing agency. She's helping customers build their followers and put together ads that appeal to her generation. Business has been good for the company. They're picking, their followers are growing, their sales are up. They're like, woo, this is great. However, when we spoke about how are you doing financially, does this make sense? I love it, Kev. That wasn't my question. Are you making money from this? Does this make sense for you? Not really. When she took the time to think about the amount of hours she put in versus what she was making as less than $1 an hour. Big opportunity cost there. But we all want to say, hey, I'm CEO because it's cool. But you also got to think, do you have the idea? People try to start stuff without going out and talking to their customers. This is the biggest mistake most entrepreneurs make. We just think we have the best idea and we need to do it right away before someone else steals it. I talk to entrepreneurs all the time. They tell me about their idea. I'm like, okay, but did you go and talk to people? Is there really truly a need, or do you just think there is? See this all the time. The other thing I see happen is people will work on a project while they're in high school, while they're in college, and then they'll stop because life gets in the way. You finish high school, you go to college, might not have as much time to work on building your personal brand. That's the thing I see a lot right now. A lot of students out there just trying to build their personal brand, hoping that they'll be able to turn that into a business. Maybe it works, but I also want to remind you to be a kid. I see a lot of posts, oh, I took a day off and my impressions crashed through the ground. You know, okay, impressions, I understand why you like them. But again, just because when I'm scrolling, I see you on my feed, but I'm not taking action as it really is important as you want it to be. But I see that I got this many impressions. Did it lead to sales? And often the case is no, it didn't. Or, I see people working the algorithm. So you're sharing stuff just because you know the algorithm's going to like it, even though it's not really something you're passionate about. So opportunity cost is a big thing. So once they finish high school, college, they go away. They're like, I got to get a job now. Again, respectfully, class, it's easy to call yourself CEO when you live at home, when you don't have to pay bills. It's like, okay, I can spend some time trying to build this. And respectfully, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it does take off. But then all of a sudden you graduate and you're like, okay, this is what I'm making doing this. Is it enough to sustain me? If it's not, maybe you need a part-time job if you want to keep chasing it. But I've seen over and over again when students either graduate high school or college, all of a sudden that idea goes away. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. We have to pay our bills. Plain and simple. You have expenses now. You got to pay back your student loans, whatever that may be. So again, it's fun to say we're a CEO and we're an entrepreneur, but I want to make you think about the opportunity cost. And is it right for you as a person? Not everyone's comfortable with those risks and, saying, geez, is this going to work out and stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised, 2 years ago, the whole class would say, yeah, because I see those people on Instagram, look at this, you got this 13-year-old kid leaning on a Lamborghini with a stack of hundreds. It's probably fake. Okay. It's probably fake. Maybe it's true, but probably fake. But that's the thing is we see all these, posts on social media like, I want to be that person. I want to be the person that built that following, went on to be an influencer, or, started their company, based on finding needs and building our brand on LinkedIn, on Instagram, TikTok. Just again, be cautious. Look about what's right for you, not for what's right for someone else. Again, I have a lot of friends, you know what? They're super happy. They have a job, pays them enough money to cover their bills, give them a little extra. That's all they want in life. Then they want to be able to come home, play with their kids, do whatever they want to do. They don't want to work around the clock. They don't want to be, doing stuff on Saturday afternoon. Because class, when you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to run a business, have employees, it never really stops. It's always on your mind, and that's not for everyone. So, like I said, it was interesting to see that it's gotten a little bit better and not yes, yes, yes. Now, with students are saying, you know what, it's probably not for me. I would just prefer to have a job. The other thing, just randomly, because in my head, is I'm surprised that my students don't want to work from home. You think everyone wants to do that. A lot of students that can just don't have the discipline, bud. I want to go in, go to work, work my whatever hours I need to work, and come home. I need work and my personal life to be separate. That's pretty cool too. All right, so that's today's student success tip. As always, appreciate you watching. Hope you have a truly dazzling day.